Hi, I'm Coach Todd, head coach at NoLimitsTriathlon.com, and I just got back from Ironman Arizona. Ironman Arizona was held in Phoenix on the weekend, and I went down there to support two No Limits athletes. We had Johan and Anthony racing. I always like trying to support the athletes as best I can, and if I'm around or if I want to go on a nice trip, I will try and do that. So it was a great opportunity for me to go down and watch. I took down some cameras, video equipment, and I made this short video when I was down there. Let's go to the video and I'll show you what I saw. This first picture is of a lady in kayak, and it's so dark out there they have to have lights on. This picture here is a group of three ladies in the kayaks, and they were very happy to get their pictures taken. They thought, hey, am I going to be famous after this? So you never know, maybe they will be famous. But it was good to see a lot of supporters out there, and I forgot how dark it was in the morning. So even a lot of people in the transition area, they have lights on their head so they can see what they're doing. So if you're going to be doing Ironman Arizona next year, bring a light. It's going to help you see what you're doing, especially if you're adjusting things on your bike. The pro men started off, they were in a mass start, and they had to line up between two buoys, and then off they went. You can see that the kayakers closest to us there, we're trying to keep them in the correct range for swimming. The majority of the male pros stayed on the left-hand side, although a group of maybe 5 or so were on the far right-hand side. I was sitting on the wall just watching all this happen. It's very hard to get to the actual start of the race because it's all blocked off. You'd have to be an athlete or a VIP to get into that area. But here we can see that small group of 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 people swimming by themselves, a little bit wider to the right. Maybe they think that's a quicker route. It'd be interesting to see who's in this pack and which person or which group had the faster line. Although just by looking at that, you would think that the left side is definitely a lot faster. And here we go, the pro women. Both male and female had a really good representation of pros. We had, I think, almost 50 pros. And from this number here, it looks like probably about maybe 25, 30 females, which is a really good number of pros. The interesting thing here, can you see those pink caps? What's happening is those are not pro athletes. Those are age groupers who need a little extra time, who don't think they're going to make the 2 hours and 20-minute cutoff. So they were allowed to swim with the pros, with the caveat being that if they do not finish within 2:20, because it's a chip start, if they do not finish in that time, then they will have on the results DNF. But when they cross the line, if they're still under midnight, then they would still get a t-shirt and the medal and the hat. So they could get across the line feeling like they finished an Ironman, but in the results would be DNF. So that gave them an extra, because the pro men started at 6:40, pro female 6:45, and then the age groupers were 6:50. So they had an extra 5 minutes to get through the 4K swim. And here go the age groupers starting. And they did, for this time, it was a rolling start, which is an interesting way to start off the race. So they would ask the athletes to seed themselves based on how fast they think they're going to swim. So if you're going to swim in under an hour, you put yourself at the front. If you're going to do an hour 10, then you go farther back, and so on and so on. This looked like it worked out pretty good. I mean, I haven't asked many people about how they thought it felt and everything, but from a spectator's view, I didn't find it as exciting as a mass start. The mass start in Ironman Arizona was usually really, really cool. This is still impressive for sure, but it's not as impressive as watching the mass start. But it's not about the spectators, it's about the athletes, trying to keep them all safe for sure, right? So I'm hoping that it was safer. I did notice that some of the swim times were quicker, but then I saw other people had slower swim times, so I'm not sure if it was made it quicker or not. But it's a very narrow start there. And I think we're going to see here in a minute, we're going to see a person struggling a bit. These guys aren't struggling. These are the lead age group swimmers, and they're just cruising along. They get nice open water, and away they go. It looked like a great day to swim today. The water temperature was a little bit cold, 14 to 16 degrees. Not rough at all. So let's go back to this view here. There's even a lady taking a picture of the mass start, which is interesting. So this guy here, he's struggling a bit, right? He's trying to catch his breath. Probably it's because it's so cold and they didn't have a chance to warm up. So he's in a tough spot right there. So for him to, get more relaxed, I would suggest go to the right or the left, but he's stuck right in the middle. So he probably should start a little bit wider, either the left or right side. Now, if you look up there, you can see the crowds are pretty thick watching the race, which is pretty cool. Up on top of the bridge, give a really nice vantage point, and there's a lot of people lining the side here as well. But if you're on the side, you're quite far away from the swimmers. So that's a little bit different than the previous years. So after I watched here for a while, then I grabbed my longboard and I skateboarded down to near the swim turnaround on one of the bridges. And then you get a really nice vantage point from up top. So you can have a really good look at these top swimmers here. I'm not sure what the yellow cap represented, if that was a different age group or what, but they were definitely having their strong swimmers. And look at the gaps there, right? So they're really nice big gaps. And it's not a lot of swimmers are close to these top swimmers, right? So it's really quite spread out. And then you look farther back in the distance, then you can really see the major groups of the swimmers. Right, so there's going to be a lot of people being very close. And you can see just how wide it spreads out. So you're seeing people swimming on both sides of the buoy, on the right and left side. So then what we did is I made my way back to the transition area so that I could watch the pro athletes coming out and then watch from my No Limits guys. And then right here, I got it paused here. This is Brent McMahon coming out. This is one of our top Canadians, and he won the race last year. So he was one of the race hopefuls to win it. And it's just fun hanging out there. Right there, we see Jordan Bryden. There's Jordan Rapp. And then we have some other pro females coming out there, some really fast ones, right? And so it's really cool to see them coming out. The temperature was cold. Like, look at these swimmers here. They're already wearing those space blankets. Now, here's Johan. He's my guy that came out. He came out under 2 hours, which was fantastic for Johan. Then we move up to the bridge. I was up here with Johan's wife, Christine, and we had a really good vantage point of how the whole transition works. So you can see they came out of the lake and they run along this chute. They come along here to the special needs. They come to the swim to bike transition. They're picking up the swim to bike bags. They're going to walk their bags to the changing area where they can put on their bike gear and helmets and bike shoes and stuff like that. You can see there's a lot of people outside. Some go inside the tent, but a lot of them were staying outside. I thought that was curious. I'm not sure if there wasn't enough room inside or what was happening there, but you were definitely having people in and outside. So once you got your gear all on for the bike, then you'd exit the tent, and then you'd go find your bike in the bike rack. Then you would take your bike and then you'd walk it to the start. Then you would start your bike. Then we raced over to see if we could see Johan exiting T1. And sure enough, we were able to. There he goes. Johan looks pretty good. He's on his way to do 3 loops of the bike course. And right here is a turnaround. So this is Ironman Arizona is great for having different vantage points for watching the race. This is a really popular one here. This is the corner where this is the turnaround point, right? So after you do 60K, you come back, turn around, and out you go for 2 more loops. You can see that lady there. She has her hands in her pockets, showing you that it's pretty cold out here. And I was thinking, that's okay. It's a little bit cold right now, but it's going to warm up. This is Arizona, right? So later on, it's going to get warmed up. And people just keep coming. So what you're seeing is there's different levels of athletes here because they're getting lapped, right? So some slower ones are starting later, and the earlier, faster ones are already completed their first lap by the time some people are just starting the bike. So you're having a lot of people passing each other. There goes Kevin, Johan's training partner. He was looking good. He just completed his first loop. The nice thing about the turnaround is you could see them coming in and then coming back out. So then you can have another chance to see them. So Ironman Arizona is an awesome race if you want to be able to cheer on your athlete, because you do get to see your athletes multiple times, because it is a three loop bike and then a 2-loop run. Here comes Johan. Now it's funny, I didn't even see Johan coming. He actually spotted me. So when you are a spectator, remember to wear something that your athlete can see, and so that they might see you before you see them. And get them to wear something that's easy to spot as well. So Johan was just finished his first, and now we see Anthony. This is on his first. I was unable to get a video of him, but I got a picture. And then soon after that, it started to rain. And then it started to rain and rain and rain, and it got kind of miserable. So this picture kind of shows you what the athletes had to go through. And then shortly after, we saw the pro male coming through, pro men coming through. And I was trying to get a picture of them as best as possible. They were really interspersed between the age groupers. Sometimes they would stand out, but sometimes you couldn't tell. So that's Brett McMahon there. He was quite far back. There's Jordan Rapp. He was making up a lot of ground here. And then we moved on to the run. Then there's people in different costumes all over trying to cheer on their athletes. Banana costumes, crazy hair. But there were a lot of athletes. Because it was a lot of spectators, because it was raining, everyone was congregated under bridges. Some even people thought running sucks. Can you believe that? There's Marianne from Calgary. She was having a great day. This is one of my favorite signs that says, touch here for power. So I was just watching to see how many people would actually touch it. Now here we go. This is Anthony finishing his 14th Ironman. So it's funny to watch people finish at the Ironman. Everyone has their own unique thing they like to do. Watch this lady here. She is happy to be done. Then later on we saw Johan. And Johan was very happy to be finished. So that's the end of my video. It was hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys. I was hoping to make it longer. I brought all these different cameras and stuff down. I was put them on tripods and everything, try to make it as exciting as possible. But once the rain came, everything just stayed in my backpack and I didn't take it out. The rain just really did not stop after about probably a loop and a half of the bike. And it would rain, then it would stop, and it would rain and stop. And it was a very tough day for athletes and even spectators too. I know that next time I go, I'm going to bring rain gear. Even if it calls for sunshine, I'm going to bring some rain gear. Everyone was finding garbage bags or some kind of plastic ponchos to put on. I didn't have that, so I was trying to find cover anywhere I could. Sometimes it was bus stops, sometimes tree, and sometimes standing under other people's tents. Anything you could do to try and stay warm. But at the end of the day, I was very lucky to be able to see both my guys coming close to the finish line. Ran with them for a very short time, and then I was able to watch them cross the finish line from a distance. If you never watched an Ironman before, this one is really quite awesome. The finish chute, as you approach it, you're coming down, and then you have to take a left-hand turn. And the left-hand turn goes right down the chute, and there's people lined up on all sides. It's really dark outside. It's, we're 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, so it's pitch black. But they have the lights on there. They have the speakers, just blasting rock and roll music. There's a big Ironman finish in the distance. And I just stood back and watched each of those guys cross. And it was such a rewarding feeling to see these guys reach their goal and get across the finish line. For me, I spent the day doing that, and then the next day I spent hanging out with my parents. I know that my parents like to watch my videos, so hi, Mom and Dad. How are you doing? Hope you enjoyed it. But that's it. Ironman Arizona is a great race. I think it would be even better if they had a really good weather. This weather was not so good, but everyone pushed through it. They try to stay warm as best they can, and the majority of the people had smiles on their faces. So that's it. The end of my Arizona video. I hope you liked it. This is Coach Todd saying thank you very much and happy training.